Hi again, it's Paul here from makeyourwebsite.com.au. Going to be having a look at adding some content into our Joomla website now that it's a blank shell or a blank canvas, empty shell or a blank canvas I should say. We're going to be adding in some of our own content. Okay, so basically first of all we need to have a look at the workflow, how Joomla works in the back end. Okay, so at the top of the tree we've got a thing called sections. So if we have a look at a pet store, for instance, a good example of a section would be pets. Under section becomes category. A couple of examples for our pet store would be dogs and cats, etc. Okay, under categories are our articles or our web pages. Now, Joomla calls it an article. That's commonly known as a web page. Okay, so an article is like a single web page. An example of articles would be dog toys and dog food, which would obviously come under the dog category, and cat nutrition would come under the cat category. Okay, and finally after that, to link to those web pages, we usually use menu items in menus. Okay, the names of those menu items are obviously normally the same or very descriptive of the actual article or web page title that we're linking to. Okay, so bearing that in mind, with our website, the Golden Point Cafe website, because it is a smaller website, we're not going to worry about using sections or categories. Okay, so we're just going to skip straight and just have a series of web pages. Now, if you're creating a larger website, say over 20 to 30 pages, you'd want to start categorizing your information, and then if you're looking at even bigger than that, if you're having a website 50 or more, like say to 100 pages, you'd obviously want to start creating sections, and then under those sections create categories and really organize your information. But as I said, our website is not going to be that big, so we're just going to start at the article level and then create menu items further down the track to link to those articles. Okay, so opening up our web browser, we're going to go across to our website. Okay, and as you'll remember from our last lesson, we've got rid of all the information except for two of the menus, just so we can see how they look, but it is just an empty shell at the moment. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go to our administration. Okay, so what we need to look at now is going over to our article manager, and what I'm going to be doing is creating a article for the home page. Okay, so in our article manager, that was content article manager, we're going to be going across and creating a new article. Okay, the title, so I'm just going to call it Okay, so the title just gives us a welcome message, the name, Golden Point Cafe, and also the town that I'm in, which is Ballarat Cafe. It's a little bit descriptive, and that's a bit of a search engine optimization tip as well. We'll get to that further down the track in future lessons. Okay, the section, as I said, we're not going to be using sections or categories because it is only a smaller website, so I'll just leave them as uncategorized. Okay, so for our content, now what I want to actually do with this is create an image in that section there, and then the text will go underneath. So what I've done in a separate program using Photoshop is I've created an image that fits this size in there. Now to get that size, remember in one of the very first lessons when we're looking at the Mozilla Firefox browser, one of the add-ons was this measure it. So for me to get the size that the image needs to be in here, once again I just measured out this, and you can see that the image size is about 700 by about, say, 300. Would fit in that area nicely. Okay, so that's the beauty of these different tools that Firefox has, is that you can add those add-ons. So in Photoshop, I went and took an image of the Golden Point Cafe and resized it to be that 700 by 300. Okay, so back to administration. What I'm going to do now is at the top there, I'm going to put in the image. Okay, so once again, to get the image one, I'll go down the bottom to image. Now I'm going to browse for the image on my local computer, and it's that home image there in the Golden Point Cafe website folder. Okay, so that's the image I prepared earlier. So I'm going to upload that image. Okay, you can see that now it's uploading there. I'll click on that image and I'll click insert. Okay, so you can see that the image is now aligned in that article. Alright, so now I'm just going to put in some filler text. Now for filler text, a good idea is always to use this lorem ipsum, which is basically, you would have seen it on websites before. It's just filler text that looks like real text. So I get a few paragraphs of that. And I'll just paste that into there and save that. Okay, so you can see that that is now been saved. Golden Point Cafe. Now I'll just put that onto the front page for now, and we'll see how that looks. Okay, there's our website with the filler text in there, and that's pretty much how I thought it would be. Okay, so it's got the nice black border when I created that in Artist here. The size of it is right with that measure it, and as you can see, the text comes in underneath. So it's quite neat, a very simple design, which is what I wanted to keep it at, but you can see that the content has been added in. Alright, so that's one of the pages. So what we need to do now is to create a second page. I'll just click on the new again. Okay, and this one might be what was one of the other pages, an About Us page. Uncategorized. And once again, I'll just copy some text into there. Okay, so adding content in is fairly straightforward. Once again, as I said, you just need to add them in as articles. Okay, so article is the name of the web pages. Once you have created a section or a set of those articles, we can then link to them through the menu. But what you'll need to do first is obviously create a list of those articles. So they'll be the articles that you created earlier on in the piece when we were looking at doing the ones that you drew out when you did your site structure. Okay, so have a look, refer back to your site structure. That should give you a list of all of the web pages that you need. And then obviously you'll create those as articles, and then in the next lesson what we're going to go through and do is create the menus and link to those articles so we can actually see them on the website. But for now, that is it, and we'll see you next time when we create the menus. See ya.